Are you and your partner deeply in love, but somehow things just don't feel right? You're not alone. Sometimes two people can be absolutely meant for each other, yet still be apart. In this video, we'll explore the 10 signs that you love each other deeply, but it's just not meant to be. From feeling suffocated to growing apart, we'll dive into the subtle yet significant signs that it's time to reevaluate your relationship. If you're struggling to make sense of your feelings or wondering if it's time to move on, this video is for you. So, let's get started and discover the signs that may be telling you it's time to let go, no matter how much you love each other. Love. It's a mighty powerful word that can make us feel invincible and vulnerable at the same time. We all crave it, search for it, and cherish it when we find it. But what if you're in a relationship where love is abundant, but something just doesn't seem right? Pause for a moment. Let's dive into this tricky situation. You might be head over heels in love with your partner, but are there signs suggesting you just weren't meant to be? It's a difficult question, isn't it? I mean, how do you separate love from compatibility, or emotional attachment from long-term potential? If you're pondering over these questions, don't fret. You're not alone. In this article, I aim to shed some light on this delicate topic by exploring 10 signs that may indicate you and your partner love each other deeply, but just might not be the perfect fit. 1. Constant compromise. We all know compromise is a key component in any relationship. That's the only way to find a middle ground that both parties are comfortable with. But here's the rub. Are you always the one conceding? I mean, it's one thing to give up your favorite side of the bed or let them choose the movie sometimes, but you shouldn't have to compromise on who you are or what you believe in. If you find yourself constantly bending your values or changing major aspects of your life to fit into theirs, it could be a sign that you're just not meant to be together. 2. Differing life paths. Let me tell you a story from my own life. A few years back, I was in a relationship with someone I loved dearly. We laughed, cried, and shared countless beautiful moments together. Sounds perfect, right? Well, here's where it got complicated. She was a city girl, born and bred. The hustle and bustle of the concrete jungle was her playground. Me? I've always been a country boy at heart. There was something about the tranquility and simple living that appealed to me. Over time, it became evident that our visions for the future were poles apart. She wanted to build a career in the city while I yearned for a quiet life surrounded by nature. We loved each other immensely, but our paths were diverging. So despite our love, we had to part ways. It wasn't easy, but it was necessary for both of us to follow our dreams and live authentic lives. 3. The silent treatment. We've all been there. A disagreement spirals out of control, and the next thing you know, you're both not speaking to each other. Silence fills the room like a thick fog, making it almost unbearable. You're waiting for them to break the silence, but they're waiting for you too. This silence isn't peaceful. It's loaded with unsaid words and unresolved feelings. If this scenario sounds familiar and is a recurring theme in your relationship, it's time for some serious reflection. See, love isn't about winning or losing an argument. It's about understanding, communication, and working through disagreements together. But if every disagreement leads to a battle of wills and a painful silence, it might be a sign that you're not meant to be together. Because love should make you feel heard, not hushed. 4. You're more in love with potential than reality. Let's face it, we all have an idealized version of our partner tucked away in the back of our minds. It's only natural, but what if you find yourself falling for the person they could be rather than the person they are? You see, love isn't about potential, it's about reality. If you're constantly waiting for them to change or grow into your ideal version of them, then you might be in a relationship with a fantasy. And let me tell you this, fantasies don't make for healthy relationships. So if you find yourself loving the idea of your partner more than your actual partner, it might be a sign that you weren't meant to be together. Because real love is about embracing someone for who they truly are, not who they could become. 5. The spark has fizzled out. Here's an interesting thing about romantic relationships. They evolve. In the initial stages, it's all about passion, excitement, and butterflies in the stomach. Pretty amazing, right? But as the relationship matures, so does the love. It transitions from passionate love to compassionate love, a deeper emotional connection characterized by mutual respect and understanding. If you find that the spark in your relationship has not evolved but has completely fizzled out instead, it might be a cause for concern. Contrary to popular belief, this doesn't always happen due to familiarity or longevity of the relationship. Sometimes it's a sign that while you both still care deeply for each other, you're not necessarily in love anymore. So if your relationship feels more like a companionship without any emotional depth or connection, it might be a sign that you weren't meant to be together. Love is not just about caring for someone, it's about feeling connected to them on a deeper level. 6. You're hurting more than you're healing. Life, as beautiful as it is, can also be challenging and at times, downright painful. It's during these trying times that we lean on our partners for comfort and healing. The right person can turn your tears into laughter, your pain into power, and your fears into courage. But what if the person you love is the one causing you more pain than peace? If you find yourself constantly hurting because of your partner's actions or words, please understand it's a sign. It's a sign that despite all the love you both share, you might not be meant to be together. You deserve to be with someone who lifts you up, not breaks you down. After all, love should bring more joy and peace to your life, not pain and heartache. 7. Living in the past. Have you ever found yourself clinging to the memory of what your relationship used to be rather than what it is now? I know I have. Let me share a quick story. I was once in a relationship where we were head over heels in love. The early days were filled with laughter, adventure, and so much joy. But as time went on, things changed. We found ourselves arguing more often than not. The laughter was replaced with silence, the adventure with routine. Yet, I held on, constantly reminding myself of the good old days, hoping we could get back to that. The truth is, I was in love with the past, not the present, and that's a sign that despite the love, we just weren't meant to be. You see, relationships evolve and change over time, and while it's important to remember why you fell in love in the first place, it's equally vital to assess if you're still happy in the present. 8. You're happier alone. This one also hits close to home. There was a time in my life when I realized that I felt more at peace, more content when I was alone compared to when I was with my partner. Despite the love we had, being together started to feel more like a chore than a choice. The joy of each other's company was replaced by a strange sense of relief when we were apart. It took me a while to admit it to myself, but I was happier alone. Love is supposed to bring joy and happiness. Sure, there will be rough patches and challenges, but at the end of the day, being with your partner should make you happy more often than not. 9. Your gut tells you it's not right. There's something to be said about gut feelings. They're our body's primal way of protecting us, of guiding us, and when it comes to love, your intuition can often be your most reliable compass. You can love someone deeply and yet feel a persistent unease in the pit of your stomach. You might not be able to put it into words, and that's okay. Your gut doesn't speak the language of logic. It speaks the language of feelings. So if your intuition is whispering or shouting that something's not right, pay attention. Despite the love you share, if your gut says you weren't meant to be, it might be time to listen. 10. Trust is missing. Trust is the foundation of any relationship. It's the invisible thread that binds two people together. Without it, everything else falls apart. If you love someone but can't trust them, it's a painful situation to be in. Trust isn't just about infidelity or dishonesty. It's also about trusting your partner with your emotions, your vulnerabilities, and your dreams. If you constantly find yourself doubting their intentions or actions, it's a serious red flag. No matter how much you love each other, if trust is missing, your relationship won't stand the test of time. Because at the end of the day, without trust, love is just a 4-letter word. If you find yourself resonating with these signs, it's worth stepping back and evaluating your relationship. Yet remember this crucial piece. It's okay. Love is complicated, often messy, and rarely fits into a neat box. It's about growth, learning, and sometimes it involves letting go. This doesn't lessen the love you shared or the significance of your connection. It simply means that love alone isn't always enough for a healthy and fulfilling relationship. Take this as a chance for introspection. Reflect on what you truly want in a partner and a relationship. Acknowledge your feelings without judgment or guilt. It's not easy, but it's a step towards understanding yourself better and heading towards healthier relationships. And remember, it's okay to love someone deeply, but also understand they might not be right for you. If you recognize these signs, it might be time to have an honest conversation. Sometimes, love means letting go. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, please subscribe to our channel for more insights.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe now and hit the bell icon